Okay guys, so yung pangatlo na mayroong high growth companies with low PE ratio ay ang company East West. Before we proceed, no, so hindi na natin to i-full review itong company kasi na full review na natin to. Meron tayong annual review sa company. So kung gusto nyo mapanood yung annual review sa company, so nasa descriptions natin sa baba yung ating review dito. Okay? So now, let's dig deeper sa kanilang financial highlights. Okay, so kung titignan natin dito yung financial highlights ng company. Okay, so kung titignan natin dito no, yung comparison ng kanilang September 2019 to September 2020, yung kanilang net interest income up by 33%. Okay, so nakikita natin dito no, yung kanilang interest expense talagang bumaba ng 47%. That's a positive sign, no? Okay? Kung titignan natin dito yung paliwanag ng company, the interest income increased driven by high average daily balance ADB of loan portfolio from its prior growth. Okay, so and also no, the sharp decline in interest expense driven by the accommodative monetary policy to spur lending activity. Okay, so ayan yung sinasabi ng ano no ng management kung bakit bumaba yung kanilang interest expense. Okay, so kung titignan natin dito yung comparison ng non-interest income ng company, nakikita natin dito no na up sila by 13%. So, yung kanilang most contributor kung bakit nag-up yung kanilang non-interest income ay dahil sa trading and FX gains, no? So sinasabi dito ng management, no, the reduction in interest rate locally and globally presented opportunities for securities trading gains. Fee income deteriorated from the current environment and one of in 2019. So guys, kung titignan natin dito yung kanilang provisions for bad loans, nakikita natin na comparing to the September 2019, meron lang silang 2.7, and compared to the September 2020, yung kanilang bad loans ay nasa 7.7 na. So nakikita natin nag-grow yung kanilang bad loans ng 2.8 times compared to the last year. Kasi sinasabi lang dito no, the provisions adequate for expected credit losses given the pandemic impact. So, ayun yung sinasabi no, kung bakit tumaas yung kanilang bad loans. And also, sinasabi dito, no, mitigated with high proportion of secured loans. Ito yung sinasabi din also, no. So, guys, sa mga hindi nakakaalam kung ano yung ibig sabihin ng bad loans, so ito yung mga nangungutang sa company, no, na talagang hindi na nababayaran na mga nangungutang sa company yung kanilang mga utang sa company. So, ang gusto kasi natin makita guys sa company na nire-review natin, no, especially guys, especially sa mga banking sectors, ay nasa 2% lang yung kanilang bad loans. Pero dito no, nakikita natin na in September 2020 ay nasa 7.7% na. So, that's a high of bad loans, no? So, kung titignan natin dito yung kanilang credit cost among the highest versus peers, so nakikita natin dito no, yung company ay merong 4% in 2020 while in 2019 ay nasa 1.6% lang, no. So sinasabi dito sa highlights na the East West among the highest in provisioning as a percentage of loans in line with consumer driven model. And also, no, East-West profitability sufficient to support additional provisioning for bad loans, no? So, sinasabi dito na kaya naman nilang suportahan yung kanilang bad loans but still yung 7.7% na bad loans na company, that's a high bad loans, no? Okay, so kung titignan natin dito yung profitability ng company, o guys, kung titignan natin dito yung profitability ng company, yung kanilang net income up by 28% currently, no? So, as of September 2020 versus September 2019, up sila by 28%. That's a high net income, no? So, kaya natin nasama itong company sa ating list, no? Na merong earnings grow, strong earnings growth with PE ratio below 20. So, ito yung kanilang highlights, no? Ito yung unang-unang highlights ng company. Nasa 28% net income meron ngayon ng company. Okay, so nakikita natin, sinasabi dito, no, yung highlights ng company sa kanilang net income, higher margins and trading gains outweighed the higher provisions. Ito yung provisions, ito yung bad loans, and lower fee income pushing net income higher by 1.3 billion year over year. So, no, the 2020 target net income to around 7 billion pesos. And also no, additional positive side sa company. So, ni-revise nila yung kanilang net income estimate forecast for 2020 to 7 billion na. Kung titignan natin dito, guys, yung kanilang unang forecasted sa 2020 ay nasa 5 to 6 billion lang. Ngayon ay nasa 7 billion na forecasted yung target ng company. That's a good sign, no, sa profitability ng company. Okay? And additional informations and additional highlights ng company, no, nakikita natin dito yung kanilang return on equity continues to be high. Nakikita natin, no, yung standard, no, ay nasa 8.1% lang, and now yung kanilang return on equity ay nasa 15%. So that's a high return on equity. So talagang sinasabi lang dito sa atin na binavalue ng company yung kanyang mga shareholders. So, ang ibig lang sabihin nitong return on equity sa mga bago pa lang sa pag-invest, kung gaano kagaling ang management to handle others people's money. Okay? So, yung return on equity, ito ay basihan ng management analysis natin, no? Okay, so nakikita natin dito, no, yung kanilang allowance per bad loan. Kung nakikita natin, on March 2020, nasa 64%. In June 2020, nasa 79%. While in September 2020, ay nasa 60%. Na bumaba yung kanilang allowance per bad loans, no? So, medyo mababa yung kanilang allowance per bad loans. Kasi gusto natin makita, guys, kapag nagre-review tayo ng mga banking sectors, no, yung kanilang allowance per bad loans ay nasa 100%, no? Kasi ito yung mga kinukonsider din natin. Okay, so kung titignan also natin dito yung kanilang CET1 ratio ay nasa 13.4%. So mataas siya, no, compare sa mga compare sa minimum regulatory ng BSP. Okay, so itong CET1 ratio, ito ay ginagamit sa mga financial sectors also, no. So yung ibig sabihin nitong CET1 ratio measures the bank liquidity and ability to survive in challenging time, no, kagaya ng ganito ngayon, no, ngayon na mayroong pandemic pa. So talagang napaka-importante sa mga potential investors ng company na tinitignan nyo yung CET1 ratio ng mga company, especially sa mga banking sectors na gusto nyo pag-investan, no. Also, dapat nasa above ng regulatory ng BSP yung mga CET1 ratio ng mga company, no. So, sinasabi dito, guys, sa financial highlights ng company. So, capital buffers increasing due to higher earnings and muted risk asset growth. Okay? Guys, kung titignan natin dito yung kanyang PE ratio, no, kung bakit na din nasama rin itong company sa ating highlights. Dito yung PE ratio ng company ay nasa 3.26 and yung future PE ratio ng company ay nasa 3.49, no? And yung market PE ratio ngayon ng company nasa 15.4 PE ratio. Okay guys, so sinasabi lang dito, guys, ng PE ratio ngayon na ang company PE ratio ay nasa good value based on its PE ratio compared to the Philippine market PE ratio, no? So kaya din nasama natin itong company sa ating with strong growth companies with low PE ratio. And also, kung titignan natin dito yung free cash flow ng company annual ay nasa negative 12.2 billion pesos negative free cash flow ang company. And let's compare free cash flow ng company in trailing 12 months ay nasa 56.49 billion pesos na yung kanilang free cash flow. That's a positive free cash flow, guys, no? So that's a good sign sa mga investors ng company, potential investors ng company na mas malaki na yung kanilang free cash flow. So sinasabi lang dito sa atin ng free cash flow na mas malaki na yung kanilang cash from operating activities kaysa sa kanilang capital expenditure or CAPEX. And also, kung titignan natin dito, yung kanilang debt to equity annual ay nasa 82.41. And comparing to the debt to equity ng company quarterly ay nasa 15.13% na lang. So, sobrang baba na, no? Sobrang laki ng baba na kanilang debt to equity. That's a positive sign sa mga investors na company. So, sinasabi lang dito sa atin ngayon, guys, ng debt to equity na in every 1 peso na ginagamit ng company sa kanyang operation, 15.13% nun ay finance by utang lang. So that's a positive sign kasi ang gusto natin makita ay nasa 40% pababa lang yung kanyang debt to equity ratio. But dito, nasa 15.13% na lang yung kanilang debt to equity. So titignan natin dito, guys, yung dividend yield na company. No? In terms of dividend yield, hindi natin ito maasahan na itong company sa dividendo. No? So more on capital gains itong company. And also, kung titignan natin dito yung kanilang debt to earnings ratio, okay, nakikita natin dito for the past 5 years, nasa okay yung kanilang debt to earnings ratio. So, take note, no, guys, ang gusto natin makita sa pag nagre-review tayo ng mga stocks ay nasa 3 pababa lang yung kanilang debt to earnings ratio. So, nakikita natin dito over the past 5 years, bumababa yung kanilang debt to earnings ratio. That's a positive sign kasi ang ibig sabihin itong debt to earnings ratio sa mga nag-uumpisa pa lamang sa pag-i-invest, in gaano katagal mababayaran ng company yung kanyang long-term debt gamit lamang yung kanyang net income. So ito yung ibig sabihin yan. Or in short, kung may interest expense bang kinikater itong company, no? So yun lang yung ibig sabihin nun. Okay, so titignan natin dito yung forecasted ng analyst, no, sa end of 2021 sa kanilang revenue ay nasa 34.1 billion pesos and yung kanilang earnings forecasted ay nasa 7.2 billion pesos forecasted, no. And yung forecasted ng mga analysts in the end of 2022 ay nasa 8.43 billion pesos na yung kanilang earnings and revenue ay nasa 36.99 billion pesos. So, kung compare natin yung earnings ngayon ng company na nasa 7.5 billion pesos compared to the end of 2022 na nasa 8.43, okay? Okay, so maguguro pa rin ang company ng 20%. That's a good projections ng mga analysts, no, in the end of 2022. So, ang tanong is achievable ba yung 8.43 billion pesos na earnings forecasted ng mga analysts in the end of 2022? Yes, achievable, no? Kasi kung titignan natin kanina, no, yung first estimate ng company mismo sa kanilang earnings ay nasa 5 to 6 lang and tinaas na nila ng 7 billion because in-exceedan na nila yung kanilang estimate. So, ni-revise nila, ginawa nilang 7. So, for me, yung 8.43 for the lifespan of 2 years, achievable yan, no? So, titignan natin dito yung ownership breakdown ng company. Nakikita natin dito na 1.8% owned by institutions. That's a good sign. And 2.1% owned by individual insiders. And 18.1% owned by general public and 77.9% owned by private companies. Also in terms of dilution of shares, nasa green flag tayo sa kanya because the company have not been meaningfully diluted in the past year. So guys, sa mga bago pa lang sa pag-invest, ibig sabihin ng dilution of shares, kapag nag-i-issue ng new shares ang company or nag-raise ng shares ang company, bumababa yung ownership percentage ng mga shareholders ng company. Okay? And also, no, this is the top shareholders ng company. Nakikita natin dito, 77.85% owned by AL Gotianon Incorporated, and meron current value na 19.1 billion pesos. Susundan ni Jonathan Gotianum na merong 0.79% and merong current value na 193.1 million pesos. Okay, so in terms of valuations natin ngayon sa company, nakikita natin dito no na ang company ay nasa 10.90 pesos per share na time na nire-review natin ito, and yung intrinsic value ng company ay nasa 21.35, and yung margin of safety natin ay nasa 17.08%. 17.08, no? So nakikita natin na meron tayong buy rating sa company because yung ating margin of safety ay nasa 17 and yung ating current price ay nasa 10.90. So below siya sa margin of safety, kaya meron tayong buy ratings. And yung ating upside potential ay nasa 93.43% kapag na-reach na yung ating intrinsic value na 21.35 pesos per share, no? Okay, so in summary ng pagre-review natin sa company, in terms of value, ang company nasa very undervalue. In terms of moat, ang company nasa average moat. In terms of management, the company have an excellent management. And in terms of debt, the company have an excellent balance sheet. In terms of dividend, hindi natin ito maasahan no, every year na nagbibigay ng dividend. So, wala tayo dyan. Okay? So guys, hanggang dito na lang muna yung pagre-review at pag-analyze natin sa mga strong earnings with PE ratio below 20. Okay? So maraming salamat guys sa mga supportan nyo sa ating channel and still growing ang ating channel. No? Guys, abangan nyo pa yung isa pa nating stocks na feature dito. No? Okay, so bago tayo mag-proceed sa isa pang topic natin. Okay, so maraming salamat guys. And as always, invest wisely and see you on the other side. Hello guys, maraming salamat sa panonood. Sana marami kayo natutunan sa video na to. So kung hindi pa kayo nakaka-subscribe, so please subscribe and hit the notification bell para updated kayo sa mga videos na parating at marami pa kayong matututunan sa channel na ito. Maraming salamat!